line there, Chuck. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Dave. I'm running a different set this morning. I'm on a DY11 dynamotor, running the ARP13. I haven't run it in a while, and just wanted to see if the thing was still putting out. It's showing everything's good, but thanks for the report.
Okay, yeah. Well, we're hearing you here in Livermore. I got a nice pulsing noise on frequency, about once every second. Nice, lovely thing to have to listen to.
Yeah, well, you know how it is. It's always something. But ain't one thing, it's two things, at least here anyway. But anyway, you're sounding good over here this morning. And nice audio. W6MQI, K0, DWC.
All right, Chuck. Yeah, this is I picked up another D104 on Friday, and this is the element for it. I think I got lucky. This one seems to work.
Yeah, well, it sounds good. At least it sounds good here anyway. Way to go there, big guy.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot when you buy those things. You just never know. So, yeah, $50. Figured, okay. I don't gamble, but this time I'm going to gamble, and I got lucky.
Yeah, that's a good purchase there for the money. Yeah, good deal, man. Well, everybody's entitled to some good help sometime.
Yep. Are you net control or Henry?
Yeah, Henry's net control this morning.
Okay, yeah, I always forget. All right, well, I'll stand by. K0 DWC W6MQI.
Okay, Dave. I'll be doing the same thing. I'll be standing by here too. W6MQI, K0 DWC.
And I guess the question is this frequency in use, W7MS?
Oh, it's not in use. Whatever gave you that idea?
It's lucky, and hello, Chuck. A low of 32 degrees and frost on the pumpkin, and maybe the end of my tomato plants.
I hate to hear that, Mike. Yeah, it's, excuse me. It's pretty chilly over here, I know that. I haven't seen anything freezing that was froze, but it's cold.
Yeah, well, I really didn't expect frost damage. I knew it was going to get cold, but, you know, it's only August.
Yeah. Did you get a lot of rain over there in Reno?
I missed the question, sorry. I think you were asking about rain. Yeah, I got about 1/4 of an inch over a period of about 60 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, it tried to rain here. Once again, I could count the drops on the back concrete patio. I think most of it evaporated before it hit the ground.
Yeah, and I actually heard some thunder and lightning, or at least 1 or 2 thunderclaps, but then I guess there was a 3,000 or 4,000 customer outage north of me up towards Ron's neighborhood due to a lightning hit. So, you know, an exciting Saturday.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, hopefully the power's been restored to those folks. And, hope so. But anyway, you sounded good, Mike. Well, probably on something interesting again, so be looking forward to hearing what your rundown is.
that due to the encouragement of Brown Beazer, who's in town, we'll be hearing Brown here this morning, and he gave me some encouragement. So I'm on something that but we'll save it for the official unveiling, W7MS.
Okay, very good. All right, yeah, can't wait to hear what it is. It's good the Brown's back on the West Coast there. That's good. Hopefully he'll be checking in with us this morning. Probably be net control, but it's always good to have him on the net when he's available.
Well, speaking of that, it sounds like a good time to break in, get everything tweaked and peaked, and we can do that while talking, and there, that's wonderful. All right, 300 hertz high. Okay. WA7YBS here, and as Chuck said, I'll be net control. So this is the Vintage Military Radio Net Roundtable AM group that allows licensed amateurs the chance to operate vintage military radio equipment on the air. And of course, that's not a prerequisite. You can check in with what you got, and so, with that, everybody knows the drill. We assign numbers as everybody checks in. Now, this is the order that I've heard listening over the last 7 minutes or so. Number 1 is Chuck, K0DWC. Number 2 is Dave, and good morning, Chuck. Number 2 is Dave, W6MQI. Morning, Dave. And number 3 is Mike, W7MS. So let's see if anybody else wants to get in here on the pre-net warm-up. Morphs into round 1. So number 4 is open. If you want to check into the Vintage Military Radio Net, do it now.
Good morning from W1NZR.
Morning, Brown. Got a good signal in here. And W1NZR recognized. And so you're number 4, and good to hear you. And number 5 is open, Vintage Military Radio Net, if you want to check in. Be number 5. Check in now. Okay, there's Bill. And 6 BCT. Good morning, Bill. You're Q5 in Dayton Valley at the moment. So, good for you, and good morning to you. Number 6 is open. If you want to check in to the Vintage Military Radio Net, be number 6. Go ahead now. Okay, sure we'll pick up some more a little later. Let's see, I know Bob said he wasn't going to be on this week because he was up in Mineral, Washington, going to a swap meet there, so no W6AQU, but we'll see who else shows up. I'm on the T368, and it looks like we're running 350 watts of output power. And the antenna is the 130-foot inverted, 130-foot inverted V. And that's the antenna I have to use out in the shop now. It's a 130-foot inverted V. The collinear array is routed to the upstairs in the house, so I'm out in the shop. It's 39 degrees here. Got some rain, not a lot, just enough to wet everything, but that was about it. And but 39 was the low here, so we're missed freezing by quite a long ways, and that's fine. So let's see. The receiver is the R725, and Arvin Industries modified EAC, Electronics Assistance Corporation, 1967. Arvin bought those in 67 brand new, and then they modified them into R725s for Tropicom and some other things. So that's the setup here and the weather report. Clear this morning, so that's good. All right, let's check and see if there's anybody else that wants to check in. Number 6 is open. If you want to check in, do it now.
W6JRY.
Okay, there's Jerry and there's Tom. Good morning, Jerry. You're number 6, W6GRY. And good morning, Tom, WA60PE. You're number 7. Number 8 is open. If anybody wants to check in, be number 8. You can do it now. Go ahead. Okay, let's get started. I'll run the list here, and we'll do it real quick. Number 1, K0DWC. Number 2, W6MQI. Number 3, W7MS. Number 4, W1NZR. Number 5, N6BCT. Number 6, W6JRY. Number 7, WA6OPE. Up to Chuck, K0DWC, WA7YBS.
Okay, Henry. Well, good morning to you, Henry. Good morning to Dave, Mike. Brown, good to hear you again. Glad you're on the left coast again. Good morning to you, and Bill, Jerry, and Tom. Everybody's coming in pretty good. Bill, you were pretty clear coming in here on this first round. So, like Henry said, good for you. Good deal. All right, we're on my ART-13 this morning, and running the DY11 Navy dynamotor, T32 microphone, and listening on a Navy RBB receiver, serial number 1111. So let's see, we got inverted V, and we're running about 85 watts or so. So that's the rundown here, and we'll keep it going. We'll send it over to Livermore to Dave, W6MQI, K0DWC.
All right, K0DWC, W6MQI. All right, Chuck. Yep, the ART-13 sounded good. I could hear that dynamotor in the background winding up and down there. Sounds cool. You got really good audio this morning. Your signal came up from earlier. And good morning to Henry. T3 is just pounding in here in Livermore. I'd say your top dog this morning, as usual. Mike, I'm looking forward to what you're running there. And Brown, good morning to Brown. And Bill, Jerry, and Tom. And this morning we're on the TCS setup with another garage sale fine D104 I'm using. So I think I got lucky on this one. It seems to work. And the weather here today is beautiful. No wind, not a cloud in the sky. It's about 60 degrees. Looks like it's warming up already. And I'm on my second cup of coffee, so life is good. So over to Mike, W7MS, W6MQI.
Well, thank you, Dave. W6MQI and the Sunday Morning Military Net, W7MS, Mike in Reno. Good signals from all. Well, it was 39 degrees, and now it's back down to 37 with a low at 32, as mentioned earlier. And congratulations, Dave, on the great find with the D104 and a intact crystal element, crystal microphone. So good job on that, sounding great. Chuck's doing quite well. I love to hear the authentic dyno sound effects. And of course, Henry's pinning the S-ometer here, and as is Brown and Dave. So good morning to one and all. And this morning, based on a conversation with Brown Friday evening, I decided to fire up the GRC-19 with the Shure Brothers 104 Alpha carbon microphone. And it's a Dubro Contract R392, a Stuart Warner T195. 110 watts according to the LP100A of Carrier. So that's the setup here. And I wonder if Brown has discovered the model number of that magic Motorola microphone that he's probably using this morning. Over to you, Brown. W1NZR, W7MS.
Well, good morning, all. W7MS, W1NZR. Great to hear you, Mike. The GRC-19 sounding very, very good. Very nice. And that mic sounds good. There is a Shure mic that I use back east, another Broderick Crawford type, and I always get good reports with it. So, and I forget which model number it is because it's so old that the model number is obscured, just like this one here. And I did pull off a number, which I will, I've got it, I wrote it down on the other side of the shack. I'll have it next round, but I'm not sure because part of the ID tag is still obliterated. Anyway, great to be here. Henry, very good on the T368, sounding great, and the R725, a fine rendition by Arvin. I'm the proud owner of a pair of those things back east, and it is an interesting tale. And actually, thank you for the history on that. Chuck, good morning to you. ART13 sounding very good over here, and interesting RBB number, quadruple 1 serial number. Dave, very good morning to you. TCS sounding good. Yeah, you lucked out with a D104. And you visited my friend Mark, AF6IM, yesterday. So he was very happy to get that SCR 274N setup from you. And I know he'll be using it. So, and you're pounding in over here, Dave. You're as strong as Henry is, amazingly enough. Tom, good morning to you. Jerry and Bill. All right, so it goes down over to Bill. N6 BCG and the West Coast MIL-RAD net from W1NZR. Go ahead, Bill.
Hey guys, I got to break in here a second. It's W6MQI. I got to take off. I'll talk to you guys next week. W6MQI clear.
Bravo, Tango. Bravo, Tango. Good morning. Great to hear you again. I haven't been listening to the net very well. It's got this most of the neighborhood that's going on the POW receiver. And it's still talking there. Anyway, so that's go over to the W6LY. Bravo, Johnny Tango.
Okay, Bill. M6 BCT and a group of 6GRY. Okay, good morning to all there. Henry, Chuck, and Dave just left. TCS was sounding good there, but apparently he had something that come up there. And Mike, very strong here. Henry and Mike are very loud in here this morning. And Brown, I'm not sure what you're on there, but I like your audio real well. My old ears like the highs that you have in it, and very, very understandable for me there. And morning to you, Bill there, and Tom. I haven't. It's 68 degrees here this morning. We got 0.6 of an inch of rain yesterday up here. Was nice, settled a lot of the dust down and so on. And not a lot of radio stuff going on here. Just on the air, some on the air contacts and whatnot. band conditions have been fair with, I think they're even going to be getting better here as soon as the fall months start rolling in here. I'm on my 32 V3 and the receiver's the 75A4 here this morning. So Tom, over to you there, down there to Richmond, and probably cool down there this morning. WA60PE in the group, W6JRY.
Okay, W6JRY, WA60PE. Well, good morning to everybody. It's Tom here in beautiful Richmond. And it is not a cloud in the sky today. It's just a blue sky, no clouds, nothing. Yesterday, it actually rained a little bit here. Mostly kind of mist right here, but in other areas it had some significant rain for a few minutes or so. But today, not a cloud in the sky, and it's about, I don't know what it is, but it's probably around 59 or 60, something like that. Looks like it's going to be a nice day. Might even warm up a bit today. And this morning it seems to have a little bit of, I don't know, maybe a fall feel to it. Feels a little different out there. I've already been out there, so. Let's see. Good morning to Brown. Good to hear you in the neighborhood. GRC 19 does sound very good. That's probably the best audio from a GRC 19 I think I've heard. Sounds really good, and you got a very good signal. Most signals here this morning are very good. And my noise level is cooperating too. It's down a little bit from normal. Actually noticeably down, not close to zero or anything like that. That would never happen. Only a little tiny receiver. And speaking of receiver, yes, we're still on the RBC, and we are transmitting on, guess what? The TCM. Yeah, old reliable. Now that I've jinxed it. Things, no radio stuff going on here much. Still working on this giant estate of stuff that I inherited, all theater equipment, and sorting that mess out. So that's sucking up all my time, or most of it. So no time for radio stuff, even though there's a million radio projects piled up here and there. Buried. And let's see, I think, what was I going to comment on, damn it? I'm supposed to write this stuff down, Tom. And I had some kind of a comment that I was going to make about something that I heard, but, oh well. Let me look at the list here. Anyway, good signals for all. Let's go back to net control. WA7, YBS, WA60PE.
Okay, Tom. WA60PE, WA7YBS. Well, okay. And 73 to Dave, W6MQI. And let's see, Chuck on the Dynamotor Run ART-13, actually a separate ART-13 from the AC operated one, otherwise known as Carla's ART-13. So anyway, it sounds good. I can hear the Dynamotor also, varying in speed with your voice, changes the load on it. So very cool. And Mike, GRC 19, T195, and R392. Yeah, the T195 sounds good and hard to do. You might mention in that if what you did with the clipper in that, if you bypassed it or if you just turned it all the way down. But anyway, it sounds good. Brown sounds good as always. And Bill is sounding good, but I guess the SDR radio that he listens to is not cooperating with him. So anyway, Jerry pounding in here. Good to hear from you. And Tom, good strong signal. In fact, all the signals are very good today. So my noise level, the QRN, the July QRN, has gone, and that's good. I think it was atmospherics. I think it was solar problems, solar activity that was causing it. It's one of those things that we do endure in the summer. And so anyway, glad that it's gone, I hope. Well, so let's see if there's anybody else out there that wants to get in here into the Vintage Military Radio Net. I have number 8 open. If you want to check in, get in here on the first round. Check in now. Okay, nothing heard. And let's see, yeah, R725, serial number 74. And actually, I made this R725 from a serial number 724. But unfortunately, somebody took an axe, I mean literally an axe, to number 74 and chopped it all up. Faceplate was gone, but luckily the humbucker and cable were present and not damaged, and the Series 500 IF deck was present and not damaged. And so luckily I had a complete and original 1967 EAC. So what I did was I made that 67 EAC into serial number 74 R725, and I even got Mo Solelli, I think his name is, to supply it a serial number tag for number 74. So that made it pretty complete. It's a good receiver, really a nice version of the R390A and R390. And so anyway, let's check again, and then we'll do round 2. A little update on the ATD. The ATD project, Alpha Tango Delta transmitter, has had 28 volts supplied to it. As far as the 28 volt system in it, it all works. The motor-driven channel selector works, and of course the tubes all light up and all of that stuff. The relays all work, and so we're progressing along on the ATD, Alpha Tango Delta, and it may be actually doing RF by next week. We'll see. So with that, let's see if there's anybody else out there that wants to get in here. Number 8 is open. Vintage Military Radio Net. If you want to check in, do it now. Okay, round 2, up to Chuck, K0DWC, WA7YBS. Go ahead.
Okay, Henry. Yeah, that would be neat, Henry, if you could get that on the air by next Sunday, and then maybe email Mike and get his on there, and we'll have 2 ATVs on next weekend, maybe. If not next weekend, maybe the weekend after. That'd be really cool. Oh, man. And yeah, Henry was right. I'm not running the standard net control station. This is my ART-13, and not Carla's, but but we are on the dynamotor, and Henry, I got to tell you what, I really had to turn this RBB down. I run headphones with this RBB, so I've been on headphones the whole time on this net so far, and man, you just make my ears hurt. Woo-wee. But that's okay. That's okay. That's what it's all about. But, yeah, Henry, you're rattling the windows over here, man. 350 watts. Wow. And, Dave, I agree with Jerry. The TCS was sounding really good. And, Mike, the GRC-19 sounds fantastic. Congratulations on that. That's a real treat to hear that, boy. You sound real military. I guess the only thing you're missing there is the Jeep. Yeah, but great job on that. And I heard most of Bill's transmission. Some of it garbled, then it came back, and it garbled, came back again. And Jerry, good morning to you again, Jerry. You're pounding in here as well with great audio, and so is Tom, OPE, TCM, and the RBC. I guess Tom and I are representing the RBC crowd this morning. So great company there, and everybody's sounding really good. I'm the same as Tom. I don't have much going on radio-wise here, although I do have stuff to do, but I'm still doing outside work. It's been dominating my time as well. So I'm kind of beating myself up. I woke up this morning, I was pretty sore all over. I had a hard time walking until I got going. But you know how it is. The older you get, the worse that stuff gets. So anyway, we'll keep it going. And let's see, Dave has signed, 7-3 Dave, and we will hand it over to the current voice of Reno, W7MS in the group, K0 DWC.
Okay, well, thanks, Chuck. K0 DWC, W7MS, with a slight delay for the initiation of the mechanical dynamotor for the low voltage, and I, of course, have the high voltage inverter replacement. Plus, I think maybe the leaf switch in this highly esteemed 1048 carbon microphone might need a little touch-up on the leaves. But officially W7MS, good reception from all, with the exception of Bill. And my apologies for omitting Jerry and Tom and Bill on the good morning salutations. I stepped out of the room for that second cup of coffee and neglected to write it down on my cheat sheet, which ended with Brown. So my apologies on that. And again, Chuck, great to hear the sound effects in the background. Sounds great, and great signal. And 7-3 is, of course, to Dave. That sounded like a family emergency, a broken water pipe, probably somebody on the phone, so hopefully everything is okay on his end. And Brown, thank you for the text message with the only readable nomenclature on the back of that microphone, but the a photograph is worth a million words, and it really tells me that it's a more modern version of the myriad of hand mics from Motorola. It looks really nice, except for the back. It's been around a little bit, and that's fine. And great, Jerry, good signal from you, and I would certainly, as you did compliment, and others have complimented Brown's excellent audio with that GRC-19. That's why I'm curious about that magic microphone. And we'll let Brown answer the question on the Clipper bypass and what he did with his 19, because since I'm still in the realm of authentic carbon mic audio, it hasn't been addressed, and I'm also curious to hear what Brown's comments would be on that. And Tom's busy with the estate and fully understand, and hopefully the dissolution and disbursement is happening according to plan, and with some of the folks on this side of the hill. Hopefully that is happening. And of course, great to hear Jerry, based on the last few weeks of fire activity in and about his residence, but great signal. And Henry, on the ATD and Chuck's comments, that would be fine. But then again, I don't necessarily want to steal your thunder on the rollout, but you didn't sound like you were that ambitious on the fast track on the ATD, so I'm absolutely flabbergasted based on our text and conversation last weekend. So I still have the missing piece, and I'm sure you still need it unless you maybe just stumbled across something in the junk box or a plan B for that one piece that I was going to remove from the other Bendix TA12. But life is good. So over to Brown. in beautiful downtown Dixon. All right, the suburbs of Dixon, W1NZR, W7MS.
That's right, Mike. Greater Southeast Suburban Dixon, out here with the almond trees. W1NZR returning. Now, let's see, a couple of comments. First, Henry, very good on the ATD, and I wonder if you received it in pristine form. I have an ATD that came literally with a pallet of them to a friend of mine back in Connecticut it had to be 25 years ago, and there must have been 7 or 8 of them, brand new, complete with connectors, dynamotor, covers, and I mean canvas covers. And I was fortunate to receive one of those, but I never received a round to it to get to it. But I am planning to do so, so I'm wondering what the story is with yours. I guess as fine a system as it was, it failed the test versus the ART-13, which won out. That was the story, I believe, associated with that, but you can correct me. And before I forget, we had about 56 degrees here in Dixon this morning, and it's actually meant to head up into the low 90s today, so it's back to summer, but the past couple of days have been relatively cool. And yes, the microphone I'm using with the GRC-19 is a semi-modern Motorola, and by that I mean this is a 70s, 80s vintage, and the ID tag is obliterated except for the bottom line on the back, which reads MNC134A. That's Mike Nancy Charlie 134 Alpha. So I'm not sure what that actually means, if that is the model number or not, but it is a very nice sounding mic, and I do have the clipper circuit completely bypassed in this transmitter. I have a couple of GRC-19s in various places, and I've done that on all of them to improve it. But yours sounds quite good, Mike. Quite good indeed. And very good on the mechanical dynamotor. Yes, that's fun to watch the amperes get sucked in as that thing starts up. So, Tom, the TCM sounding very, very good. And very good on your stash of theater gear. I'm sure that is both fun and trying at the same time. You probably deal with it for a while and then become completely overloaded, even though initially it's a great deal of fun. So it'd be interesting to know how much stuff you have. Sounds like an enormous amount. Anyway, gives you something to do, as if you didn't need it. Okay, let's move down to Bill. Back down to you, Bill. N6 BCG and the Sunday Morning Military Net from W1NZR. Go ahead.
Okay, Bill. Yeah, N6BCT and the group W6JRY. Well, Bill, your signal was up that time even better. Some QSB, but everybody's still very good copy here this morning. And let's see, Henry, okay on the ATD project, ER725. Yeah, I need to get my ATD back on here. It's been sitting, and I hope it still works. Seems like when I leave these things sitting around and turn them on, things might be amiss. And Dave's gone there. Mike, good strong signal here. And Brown, same way, with good audio. Really like the audio there. And Tom, with the usual RBC ECM setup there. Well, I'm about like you, Chuck. Not much radio work, but a lot of outside work, and I'm feeling probably about the same way you're doing. Sore all over. I just seem to have had a lot of yard outside work, and then beyond my place on the road that we're on here. It's kind of a private road, and nobody seems to want to do anything. Got to the point where the sign had been obliterated by a lot of overgrowth and whatnot. You couldn't even see the street sign. I put the original in 40 years ago, and completely covered with vines and bushes and thorns and poison oak and so on. So that was one of my projects during the last couple of days, is going down there with the Jeep and the trailer and trimming all that away, and then had a new sign, road sign made and put that up. But anyway, getting people to do anything on the rest of the road is a big problem. That situation. Has some interesting contacts on the air. I made a contact with the only female amateur radio operator in Saudi Arabia here a few days back. She was on the air, and very good signal, very interesting person, and her father was the first licensed in Saudi Arabia, and then she took over his phone. And had an interesting QSO and some other special events. Radio-wise, that's kind of what I've been doing here. But plenty of outside things to do. And I've been trying to get over and help my son out in the Cohasset area, where they really had an awful lot of houses burnt down. Fortunately, his survived, but most of his neighbors didn't. But unfortunately, he doesn't have any power other than a 750-watt generator that I gave him, and he's just having to use that off and on to get some water up out of his well. The power pole that had the electrical meter on it and circuit breaker box and so on, that burnt down. And he had accumulated a wood pile there of about 3 cords of split oak, and that got burned up, and plus another well building and the pump and so on, that was totally gone. And unfortunately, there have been so many vehicles that seem to be using his area for parking, and there's PG&E and AT&T and a half a dozen contracted people that seem to show up in his yard, and he can hardly move around over there. But been trying to get the pole replaced there, which PG&E does not do, and trying to find a contractor to come in and get some of the electrical restored there. So he's camping out, over there with an ice chest and a couple of generators at partially run time, and no telephone service. So there's cell phone service once in a while. So he's got a lot to do too. And I haven't been able to get over there because they've got the roads kind of blocked off in the area with all the construction and so on going on. So that's the main stuff going on here. Over you there, Tom. I won't have too much more. I think I'll say 73s, and I'll be listening, but that's about all that's happening over here. So, WA60PE, 73s to all, but we'll be listening. W6JRY.
Okay, W6JRY, WA60PE, 73, Jerry. Take care. Well, that's a bummer. These damn fires. Unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. Never been like this either. Well, good luck to your people. Let's see here. Comments. Yeah, Motorola microphones and all that, two-way radio stuff. I'll ask on that is Jeff Fuller's WB6NVH, or is it W6 these days? I think it's still WB6NVH. He's a walking encyclopedia of 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s era two-way radio stuff. Seriously, folks, they cannot be stopped. Unbelievable. Yeah, oh, and go to his website sometime if you want to kill about 4 or 5 hours or whatever. Go to his website on two-way radio systems. The history of Los Angeles Fire Department, Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, Los Angeles Police Department radio systems, Highway Patrol radio systems. Unbelievable. Really just a ton of information. And let's see, I think it was Brown said called that a Roderick Crawford microphone. And does it require you to say 10-4-2150? And, you know, I remember when I first came out, I think I was in high school, and used to, Mad Magazine, yeah, that's it. A friend of mine was a Mad Magazine fan, so I used to get some of it passed on to me, and they did a thing on him. They did a thing on Highway Patrol, Roderick Crawford. Instead of Dan Matthews of the Highway Patrol, it was Don Mildew of the Highway Patrol. And anyway, yeah, the whole deal where Roderick Crawford is chewing the scenery and sliding up to a stop in that 55 Buick with the dust and rocks flying. And the magazine had him growling a lot. Instead of speaking, he would growl. So, he got it. You know, that guy was actually a very good actor. And boy, he sure played a lot of nasty characters. But anyway, he got a lot of mileage out of Highway Patrol. And it looks like they filmed each episode black and white. I think it looks like about $1.98 values. Their only expense was the talent and a little bit of gasoline for that 55 Buick. But anyway, funny to think about it. And let's see, if Andy was here, he'd be asking me, hey Tom, when are you going to fix your GRC-19? Well, I don't know, and the flat spots are a big problem here. The GRC-19 needs a flat spot. to pull that damn chassis out of the transmitter, put it someplace to be able to disassemble and start looking into it. And same thing with the TDO. Go to a flat spot, upside down, and some serious digging has to be done. When's that going to happen? I don't know. Big mystery. So, yeah, all the radio projects have been on hold. I think I mentioned last week or week before I was looking into a switching power supply for xenon lamps, which is the modern equivalent of an arc lamp. Only switching power supplies. Lights. And I dug into it, and a lot of it is fairly straightforward looking and pretty hefty. More than 150 amps output at 30 volts. And runs on 220, either single or three-phase. And there's a control board, which is about maybe 8 inches by 10 inches or whatever, and man, was it loaded. And it's got dip switches. I think there's 8 or 9 dip switches. Each dip switch has got like, I think 7 or 8 switches on it. Maybe there's one that only has 4. And I did find the guide for all the dip switches, and they're all set appropriately. But anyway, I don't know if it works yet. Haven't powered it up. And there's an MS connector on it that I want to eliminate. So that we shall see what happens. Receivers make a noise. Like the ABC doesn't like the carrier input or whatever. But, signal strength meter isn't 10. Let's see, what else was I going to comment on? I think that was about it. Yeah, I'll stick around. I guess 73 round will be coming up here pretty quick, so I'll stick around for one more round. Back to net control. WA7YBS, WA60PE.
Okay, Tom. WA60PE, WA7YBS. Okay. Very good. And everybody's still holding up fine. And a little bit of QSB, but not anything to get worried about. Okay, Mike, you still have the clipper in the circuit on the T195, and Brown doesn't. So, okay, and let's see, oh, yeah, on the ATD meter, yeah, I still want to get that TA12 current meter from you at Cabela's, and what I've done is I've just taken that wire that would, the bus wire that would go to the meter, and I just routed it over to the RF output, and so it's well, actually you go down to the sending relay, and then that ends up going over to the anyway, it's like the meter wasn't ever in the circuit except for the big hole in the panel, and you don't really need that. That was just an indication of maximum power out, and it was a tuning aid, I guess you'd say. And we have other ways of doing that. So anyway, I do need the meter, but I am working around, and as far as having the ATD on the air next week, when I said I was going to have RF out of it, I meant into a dummy load. It's not going to be ready to be on the air for probably mid-September or so, and so, yeah, no, this is just, we're still in the testing mode. And Brown, yeah, this did not come new in the box. It would have been nice if it did, but this was on Evil Bay, and it was that one that was up in Idaho, Sandpoint, Idaho. And the guy's he's like, Mr. Non-Communication type guy. He will not answer anything, and it's pretty difficult to deal with a person that is It has no communication skill, but or desire. But at any rate, I ended up with it. It actually is a pretty good one, but it's certainly not NOS, not in the box, new in the box or anything, but it's in pretty good shape. And so a lot of little things that you always find with this stuff when you go, you take it all apart, find all the mechanical issues with it, and put it all back together. So yeah, it's one of those things. So anyway, it's Mike, I do still want the meter, and it'll be probably mid-September before it's actually putting a little RF power into an antenna. So let's do the 73 round. And let's see, we have Dave has signed and Jerry has signed. So Bill, N6BCT, you'll turn it over to WA6OPE. And with that, let's go up to Chuck, K0DWC, WA7YBS.
Okay, alrighty. Yeah, I was over at Henry's last week and got a first-hand look at that ATD, and I think it's a nice piece. I really do. It's clean, it's complete, and it's just cool looking. It's really a nice looking transmitter. But I think as Mike alluded to, I think what was it, the ART-13, I guess, ended up winning out. But I didn't even really know they were in competition. But anyway, it's still an interesting piece, though. So anyway, I'm sure Henry will have that thing doing gangbusters by the middle of next month. So looking forward to that. And Brown, I did not know you were running the GRC-19. I must have missed that. I had you blank on my sheet for what you were running, so I guess I definitely did miss it. But very nice setup, very nice audio. You and Mike, it's really cool to have two of those on at the same time. So congratulations to both of you for knocking out that GRC-19 and getting great audio. One old school and one new school. But anyway, Brown, it's good to have you here on the West Coast again, and I hope you come back soon, and you know where we're at. So anyway, Gary, I want to wish the best for your family. I know that's a tough deal. I'm sorry for your son, and that's an awful deal to have to deal with. But he's in our prayers, and we wish nothing but the best for you and your family, and you all take care as well. And Tom, I'm sure you'll be disposing of the theater equipment, hopefully, once you get all your inventory and stuff completed and down, and I'm sure you'll be enjoying that. So, so anyway, guys, I'll let you guys go. I'll be net control next week, and Henry, I'll probably give you a call later this afternoon. I'm going to do some outside work, and I'll call you later on today. So take care, everybody. 7 crews to all, and we'll hand it down to Mike. W7MS with that nice sounding GRC-19. This is K0DWC. 7 crews, guys.
Well, okay, Chuck, K0DWC and the Vintage Military Net, W7MS. Well, thanks for all the accolades, but we can't compare audio to Brown, but it's all Brown's fault. We had that conversation Friday. But, yeah, Brown, thanks for the picture. I did some research, did some Googling here in between then and now, and the one indicator on that microphone is, on its age, is the spring-loaded strain relief. And all the other microphones that I find illustrated via the Google search show up with the molded plastic strain relief, which definitely identifies that as a, same mic case, but a later vintage Motorola microphone. So, hey, we need to do some deep research here. via various search engines until we find something that at least physically is appropriate, and then go from there. But thanks for the information, because as we assume, that's a dynamic powered carbon mic replacement. That's an active microphone that's probably powered from the bias line, carbon mic bias line, but it sure is a good match. And as we discussed Friday, I do have one carbon mic replacement, avionics microphone, noise canceling version, and it just doesn't produce enough audio for 100% modulation. So the audio is much improved, but the other issue would be no one could actually hear me unless they turn their audio gain up to full blast. So that's the problem. But great to hear everybody this morning. Thanks, Henry, on the ATD clarification. Of course, the other irony is we'd mentioned at 50 ohms, that RF ammeter with a 50 ohm load doesn't move anyway. It's one eyelash width off of zero, but you want it to look right rather than a hamster. But totally understand how you can. You are doing some basic diagnosis and proof of performance testing, so congratulations on that. Brown, again, always a pleasure, and always look forward to your arrival here on the West Coast and joining us on the radio. It's a lot of fun. Not to mention the eyeball visit this past June at the world famous N7 RCA swap meet, courtesy of Brad Hollander. And Bill, 100% reception this time. Great to hear you in Reno. The first time around it was difficult, but this time it was 100%. And of course, smooth sailing for Jerry with all the items on his punch list between his personal issues at his home and his wife, and also now with his son's issues with the power issues that are all on him, and the competition for contractor time. But it will happen, but hopefully sooner than later. And Tom, not enough horizontal space. I'm just about out of vertical space. I can hardly even stack it vertically now, let alone have a horizontal location. But I do in the back workshop. I've been working on a high voltage plate, screen, bias, filament supply for a Technical Material Corporation amplifier. And one advantage was, with this cool weather, I've been able to actually do some work out in the shop, whereas when we return back to summer, it's just unruly hot in there by about 11 a.m. It's just very uncomfortable, so it's limited my work time. But based on the return to winter, I've actually made quite a bit of forward progress on drilling and punching holes and mounting components. And then we'll have to do our proof of performance in ringing out and circuit design on some of the fine-tuned stuff, like the MOSFET screen regulator circuit, et cetera, et cetera. But that's just all in due time. And maybe produce a little bit of smoke from then to actual use, but that's all the fun of amateur radio. So 7-3s from Reno, and over to Brown, W1NZR, W7MS.
Well, very good on all, Mike. W7MS and the group W1NZR returning. And with respect to this mic, I'm pretty sure that's what it is, a carbon or a dynamic carbon replacement, because it's wired directly. There's no blocking cap, and I've used it. I actually have another GRC-19. Actually, it came with another GRC-19 I got out here a few years ago, and this particular rig. And by the way, Chuck, this is a Westinghouse, or I'm sorry, a Western Electric contract date of 1963, both the T195B and the R392 match. And I'm fairly certain it was the last contract left for these things. And one would think so. In 1963, it's amazing. Although I do remember in 1978, back in Rhode Island, seeing a National Guard unit with GRC 42s, the shelter-mounted version of this, as a teletype setup, on the back of gasoline-powered Dodge M880 series pickup trucks, using them in the field. That was 1978. I'm fairly certain that was the absolute last batch for the GRC 19. Fine unit, but it is. So, and let's see. Well, thanks for the ATD info, Henry. Very interesting. And we'll look forward to hearing that, and I'll be inspired to get mine going. I'd actually moved it recently, so now I need to find a flat spot to put it on. And Tom, I understand that. Very good on. I wonder if your TDO is in need of the repair for the excitation issues with that. I have the intermittent excitation issue with my TDO, which is still in Rhode Island, and I'm getting ready to move it this fall. Final move out of that place to North Carolina, and I'm hoping to be able to remedy that when I do move it, because it'll have to be moved in pieces, and that exciter deck comes out. I'm going to go all through it and hopefully find that little gremlin. I tried once before and thought I had it, but then occasionally she just doesn't wish to cooperate. But other times it'll work for a whole day without any trouble. Who knows? It's old radio. Well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure as always. I will be departing this week, heading back to the other coast, but I should be back here probably mid to late September for another round of fun and excitement, and it's always a pleasant diversion to cross your paths here on the radio, and something to look forward to on the weekends in between dreaded work. So with that, I'll say thank you very much, Henry, for being net control, and bid all of you a pleasant remainder of the weekend, and we'll look forward to chatting with you next month. So, goes down to Bill, and Bill, I apologize for, I don't know why I stuck a G in there, but it's N6 Bravo Charlie Tango to take it. This is W1NZR, be listening out, but a very hearty 73 to all. Go ahead, Bill.
WA60PE. Okay, very good. Yes, flat spots and TDOs. Yes, you know, my TDO was a drive problem, which is what it has. And it is intermittent drive, sort of intermittent once in a while. Most of the time it doesn't. There is no drive now. And for little things around enough, you can get a little bit of drive. But not enough so you really notice it, but you are on the air, probably with about 15 watts maybe. And anyway, that problem, yes. I thought I had it fixed one time too, and sure enough, you know, the 1 week it worked great, the following week it didn't. It was intermittent, and it would come and go. And I thought it was related to the sensitivity of that control, that tuning control, because it was really touchy. But I cleaned all that up and looked at this and looked at that. Thought I had it fixed, and nope. So eventually, maybe I might get to it someday. Like to get that thing on a nice flat spot with good illumination and go through all the fan switch with a fine-tooth comb and everything else. I went through the driver. What did I try to remember? Once again, a lamp notebook. But I didn't try to remember what all I did wrong. And I thought the problem was between the 606 and the first 807. I thought. But I don't remember now. Anyway, quite a problem. And from what I hear from you, Brown, that it's probably a fairly common problem. So, yes, old radios. Not a good thing. Oh, yeah, one other comment I was going to make. When a Bronco was going to fly on the wall in the room when they were testing the ARP campaign, the GA12, and the ATD. or even whichever one overall competition for the ART-13. That must have been on the other contracts, like the Bendix guy and all, and he sees the Collins guy show up. They drop an ART-13 down there, or actually known as an ATC at the time. And they plop that thing down and hook it up and dial up and whoa! That must have been something else. Okay, that'll do it for me, and that'll do it for the group this morning, I guess. And everybody back to Net Control. WA7YBS, WA6OPE.
Okay, Tom. WA6OPE, WA7YBS. Okay, and very good on all. And yeah, that would have been something there, Tom, because, and going over, having disassembled and worked on this ATD, it looks like about mid-30s technology, maybe kind of early-ish 30s, mid-30s, somewhere there. There's nothing modern about it. And yet you go to the ATC, and that must have been, the Bendix guy's eyes must have just rolled back in his head. But what are you going to do? Anyway, yeah, that's why the ART-13 is so popular today. It's easy to get going, puts out a lot of power, and it's a great transmitter. Well, thanks everybody for your participation in the Vintage Military Radio Net. It's appreciated. And Chuck will be Net Control next week. So I hope that we'll hear everybody back next week, and we'll do it all again. So 73 all around. Everybody have a good week coming up. This is WA7YBS, and I'll be closing the Vintage Military Radio Net and signing off. 73.
Thanks, Henry.